I wanted to talk to you today about something I found the other day in my things, and it was this little piece of paper from a quote by Anais Nin that I cut out and kept a number of years ago when I was going through a really difficult time in my life. And when I read it, it just really struck me, and it seemed like it fit with what I was going through. So here it is. The quote is, "And the day came when the risk it took to remain tight inside the bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom." Anais Nin, she had a very interesting lifestyle if you know anything about her. And although I don't know if I would necessarily follow her particular lifestyle, I certainly wouldn't recommend it to my clients to maybe do some of the things that she did. But I think it was really interesting that even someone like her, who had what appears to be a very blossomed, opened, and not a tight approach to life, still had those kind of thoughts. I think it's where a lot of people are, where they feel like they're just, they can't let go. They have to be a certain way. There's certain things to apply to them and not to other people. And they would just like to be free and to be open and to blossom. I think that a concern people may have is that if you really start being yourself, then it's going to change everything. That you just, if you start focusing less on taking care of people, taking care of others, and you focus more on yourself, you're going to become selfish, and you're just going to forget about other people. Or that it's going to completely change your lifestyle. You're going to leave your family and start backpacking across Europe like you never did when you were younger but wanted to. Or you could end up like Anais Nin and doing all sorts of unusual things that maybe aren't your character. In my experience, is moving from a place of tightness into blossoming and coming into your own looks different for different people. It's not about what you actually end up doing. It's more about, are the decisions you are making, the choices you're making, the way you're living your life, is this in accordance to what fits with you? Are you truly filling the space that you're in? Instead of focusing so much on other people, that if there was a time in your life where you like to, let's say, write poetry, that you spend more time writing the poetry. And it doesn't mean that you have to start going to coffee houses and open mic nights and reading your poetry or so on. But it just means that you're doing something that you enjoy doing. So just like there are so many different types of flowers out there and how they blossom, how long the blossoms last, what they look like, the right conditions for that to happen, they're all different. And in the quote, there's also this issue of risk, that when change happens for people, that they decide to open up. And also in the quote, it talks about the risk of remaining in the bud remaining tight in the bud is more painful than the risk of blossoming. That means that sometimes having pain isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's telling us something. It's telling us that something needs to change. Something needs to move. In that case, then pain and discomfort can be our friend, and it can be our guide to let us know what to do next. Something that in my mind that I think of is that you can get to a point where you don't like what's going on in your life. You don't necessarily know how to make it better or fix it or change it, or even what that would look like, but you know that things can't stay the same. That whatever is going to come next, whatever needs to come next, is going to be a heck of a lot better than what's going on now. And that is really an important place to be in to change. That's the pain or the discomfort that's talked about in that quote. Maybe this day has already come for you. This has happened to you in the past, and it can happen again, of course. Or maybe this is happening now, that the risk is too much to stay tight, to stay closed in, to keep doing the stuff you always do. and it's time to move forward and take a risk, because it is a risk sometimes to stay the same. It's a risk of things not getting better. So what things in your life right now feel tight and very closed up? There's a lot of pressure there, like that it wants to open up. What do you think is needed to help make that happen? What conditions do you need to be able to open up and blossom and move fully into your full potential? And just like every flower out there are worthy of opening up and meeting their full potential, so are you. You are worthy, and I encourage you to take whatever steps you need in order to do that. I hope today's video was helpful to you, brought you some guidance, brought you some comfort, gave you some things to think about. My name is Bethany Brunn. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I hope today's message helped you to get back to you. Take care. Bye.